Hello, my name is Rose Sapanera. I'm the third youngest of 10 children and the first to work abroad to provide for the needs of my family.
In the 1980s, Rose worked as a nanny in Bahrain for 2 years for a very wealthy family. Although she was able to provide for her family, she frequently felt homesick.
Living away from my family is very difficult. I cried a lot before going to sleep because I miss them so much.
Rose worked tirelessly for days, caring for and serving her employer's family. Although the days were hard, Rose was able to build long-lasting friendships with the other nannies that also worked in the same house. They encouraged each other to stay strong for their families.
When I met Leia, I felt like I knew her for a long time. She became my family and best friend.
Rose and Leia started applying for their Canadian working visa together and hoped for an acceptance soon. They were hopeful because Leia's older sister was in Canada helping them throughout their application process. After 6 months, Rose's visa was approved.
Hello, my name is Alan Salvanera. I am the oldest of the 5 children and first to work in abroad.
After high school, at the age of 18, Alan worked in Manila. He then applied to work abroad. Alan's working visa got approved, and he worked for construction in Kuwait for 4 years. During the 4th year in Kuwait, the Gulf War began, and Alan was captured and became a prisoner of war.
When I was captured, I didn't know what was going on to happen to me. About 50 were held in cell. Altogether, it was unsanitary. Most of my friends very got sick. And soldier would treat us like a dog, throw our foods on the floor for us to eat. Every night I would hear a sound of explosion and gunfires, and it caused me to think that this could be the end.
Alan was then rescued and was sent to Iraq, where he was able to get in contact with the Philippines embassy. Alan was then able to go back home to the Philippines. From there, his mother was able to sponsor him to come to Canada. At this time, Rose was working as a housekeeper in the Marriott Hotel, as well as a part-time nanny for a Jewish family. Alan was working as a superintendent for a complex. Both looking for love, the connection of Alan's mother allowed them to meet at church.
I was new to the church. My friend invited me to come, but I was hesitant because I was a Catholic believer. I ended up joining my friends, and that's when I met Alan. He was in the ministry, and I would see him serving the people.
When I saw Rose, I was drawn to her because she's so beautiful. Every time I saw her at the church, I would get distracted. On one service, I was assisting with the soundboard, and the pastor was trying to get my attention to raise the volume of his microphone, but I was looking at Rose, and the whole time I told to my mom I was interested in Rose and that I wanted to get to know her.
When Alan's mother heard this news, the following Sunday was Valentine's Day, and she invited all the single ladies to come to their house for lunch after the service. Rose and her friends all went because Rose thought Alan was so handsome and wanted to get to know him too.
I was excited to hear that Rose was coming because I wanted to get to know her more. That's when I decided to court her and give her a flower.
Courting, they would meet up at Eglinton Station after work, grab Cinnabon, and ride the train together from Kipling to Kennedy Station and back.
It was like falling in love with my best friend. He was gentleman and never held my hand because he didn't want me to feel uncomfortable. Alan always made me laugh, and I fell more and more and more in love with him.
After almost 3 years of courting, they got engaged and got married after 1 year. They had their firstborn, Abigail, and were living the Canadian dream. Things changed when the church they attended separated. Both Alan and Rose were looking for a church and got invited to a Bible study where they met Pastor Jim and Alice Buslon. They both decided to make International Christian Assembly, now known as Skyway Christian Assembly, their church, where they would grow their family. After a few years, they had their second child, Rachel Joy.
When my husband and I gave our lives to the Lord, we knew this was the church we wanted to grow in as a family.
Skyway has been so supportive of my family's spiritual journey with the Lord. Now both my children love Jesus and are serving Him together.
Now, Alan and Rose have their own water treatment business in Toronto for almost 23 years, serving in their community. God has been so faithful through the struggles and trials of their love story. From when they were single to being together, the hand of God has never left their side.